2014. So far, it's been one of the worst years I've ever watched. WWE. Now, it's not all bad. There are some good moments. There are some big moments that happened. But at the end of the year, I left disappointed. Now, WWE, they started off pretty good. The Royal Rumble, they brought back Batista. I was a big fan of that. He ended up winning the thing, which I was alright with that. Some people weren't, but I've never seen Batista before. Glad to see him back. He won it. Cool. At the Royal Rumble, you had Brock Lesnar defeat the Big Show. You had Randy Orton retain his world title over John Cena. You had Bray Wyatt defeat Daniel Bryan. And what's mostly notable about the event is that CM Punk walked out of it the night after and left WWE. He's never been seen again for about 5 years. The Elimination Chamber, you had Batista defeat Alberto Del Rio. And Randy Orton walk out of the chamber, still champion. You also had the Wyatt family defeat The Shield. It was a pretty good feud. This is what made me become a fan of The Shield. For a while, I never cared about them until they started doing feuds of Evolution, the Wyatt family, Cody Rhodes, and Goldust. So WWE so far was on a good start. This was what leads to their major programs for WrestleMania. The night after, you have Brock Lesnar stand in the ring with Orton and Batista. He wants to challenge either one of them. He either wants to fight Randy Orton for the world title or Batista for a spot at WrestleMania. The main event at WrestleMania should have been Brock Lesnar versus Batista. Did we get that? No. Therefore, Randy Orton walked out of the chamber, the champion. Therefore, he was going to fight Batista at WrestleMania. I looked at the graphic. I was like, no, this match is terrible. I don't want to see Randy Orton Batista. Come on. No. What does Brock Lesnar get? Well, he gets The Undertaker. The Authority gave him an open challenge for WrestleMania. And out came The Undertaker. He chokeslammed Brock Lesnar. This was a pretty good build. John Cena, Bray Wyatt, they started theirs. You had Daniel Bryan convince Triple H to fight him at WrestleMania, which Triple H did accept. And he later created a stipulation saying whoever wins their match will get into the main event of WrestleMania between Orton and Batista. That's what started the whole Yes movement, Occupy Raw. I didn't care for it. I didn't care to hold Daniel Bryan into the main event. Him and Triple H is fine. Him in the main event, I did not care for it. I was bored by it. To me, Daniel Bryan has already been dead and buried. Didn't care for it. WrestleMania 30. So far, it's been one of the worst WrestleManias I have ever seen. The event itself, it's alright. I'd probably get a 7 out of 10. So we'll go over the results. The show opened up with Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, The Rock. Iconic moment, seeing all three guys there. You had Bray Wyatt lose to John Cena, which pissed me off. You have a rising star in Bray Wyatt come into WWE, defeat Daniel Bryan and Kane. You have him lose to John Cena. Just beat The Rock a year ago. Not a great way to start. Not a great way to build a new star. Bray Wyatt has been a big issue in WWE. We'll get that later down the road. Next big thing is you had Brock Lesnar end the streak of The Undertaker. A lot of people were shocked by that decision. I predicted Brock would win. History speaks itself. The Undertaker has never beaten Brock Lesnar by pinfall or submission in one-on-one matches before WrestleMania. Undertaker has beaten Brock Lesnar by countout. He has beat him by pinfall in triple threat matches, but never one-on-one. Brock won. The crowd is shocked. The streak is over. And Paul Heyman goes on to mock the audience and brag about him beating The Undertaker. You also had the Shield defeat the New Age Outlaws and Kane. They didn't really care about that. You had AJ Lee retain her title. It was alright. You had Cesaro win the Battle Royal. That was alright. Then we get to the main event. Daniel Bryan defeats Triple H. That was the opening match of the show. I was alright with Daniel Bryan Triple H. No problem with that. But Daniel Bryan wins the main event against Randy Orton Batista. Wins the world title. I was happy that he won. I'll give him a golf clap. But he made Batista tap out at WrestleMania. And 4 years ago, Batista's last appearance at WrestleMania, he tapped out to John Cena. Deja vu for Batista. Now, why I didn't like the Yes Movement, we will find out later on. But so far, you know what? Whatever. Bryan won. Let's see how long he can have the title. The next pay-per-view is Extreme Rules. You had the Shield get into a feud with Evolution. You had the Shield defeat Evolution. They won at Extreme Rules. And then they won at Payback. So they fought twice. You had Daniel Bryan retain his title against Kane. You had Bray Wyatt get his revenge victory on John Cena. Happy about that. Bray Wyatt wins. He ends the streak of John Cena's. He ends the undefeated streak of John Cena. So far, John Cena had been undefeated at Extreme Rules. Not anymore. And the next night, you had some pretty big moments happen. You had Batista quit WWE. He's tired of feuding with the Shield. He wants his WWE title match that they promised they would give him. A one-on-one match that he never got. You had Dan Bryan relinquish the world title due to a neck injury. Yet Seth Rollins turned his back on the Shield and sailed out towards the Authority. It sets up a pretty good road to SummerSlam. The road to SummerSlam was pretty good. So they kind of made up for the road to WrestleMania. You had Money in the Bank at Seth Rollins win the Money in the Bank briefcase. You had a vacant world title for about 2 months. They had a bunch of qualification matches for Money in the Bank, which John Cena won. I knew it was going to happen. I was fine with that. A lot of people wanted Roman Reigns to win. He was in that ladder match, but he didn't. They set up SummerSlam, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Yet at SummerSlam, we have Roman Reigns defeat Randy Orton. Roman Reigns gets a big victory. I'm a fan of Roman. I was alright with that. Yet Seth Rollins defeat Dean Ambrose. They're continuing their feud after Seth turned his back on Dean. A few weeks before Money in the Bank, you had Brock Lesnar decimate John Cena. Gave him like 100 suplexes, becomes world champion. I was happy with that. My boy Brock won. Always wanted him to become champion, and there he was. So the road to WrestleMania started off alright, the Royal Rumble, then Elimination Chamber. Then just turned to garbage, didn't care for the Yes Movement. You had John Cena beat Bray Wyatt. The streak was over. The road to WrestleMania was kind of disappointing. The only thing I cared about the road to WrestleMania was Brock and Undertaker and the feud between Cena and Wyatt. Everything else, not so much. So going into SummerSlam, WWE did a very good job. Like the road towards Money in the Bank, finding out who our new world champion is going to be. I like the feud between Cena and Lesnar, what they did. Like the push of Roman Reigns, that was, he was getting over. But then WWE turns to garbage again. By the end of the year, you had Team Authority for Team Cena. And I hate the Authority. It's one of the worst stables that have ever been created. It's boring. It's Stephanie Triple H come out every week, talk about what's best for business. And they start getting a lot of people in their pockets, like Seth Rollins and Rusev and Kane, Mark Henry, Luke Harper, J&J Security, building a stable. Just boring to see them. Cena, he aligned his team to go up against the Authority at Survivor Series. Boring. The only thing I did like about it was Randy Orton being taken out by the Authority. They turned on him because he had problems with Seth Rollins. So they had to take out the weak link, and I love the tension between Seth Rollins and John Cena. That was alright. However, I don't like the interaction. However, I just don't like the Authority. They killed WWE for me in 2013. They did it again in 2014. So go to Survivor Series. You had Team Cena defeat Team Authority because of Sting makes his debut. He gives us a Scorpion Death Drop to Triple H, and Team Cena gets the victory. Dolph Ziggler was the sole survivor. It was a nice surprise. But they ruined Sting here because his efforts were useless. So the Authority was gone for about a month, and after TLC, you had Seth Rollins almost give a curb stomp to Edge. You had John Cena come out. At Survivor Series, Vince McMahon gave John Cena the power to bring the Authority back. And since Cena did not want to see Edge get curb stomped or get his neck broken, he brought back the Authority. So Sting didn't even need to be at Survivor Series. His efforts did not matter. They were useless. So why did they bring him in? Well, they were setting up for a feud with him and Triple H at WrestleMania. We'll get that in 2015. End of the year review. And, yeah. So let's go back, give this year an overall rating. It was one of the worst years. I left disappointed. It started off alright, but I didn't care for the whole yes movement thing with Daniel Bryan. They started off with Daniel Bryan becoming a world champion at SummerSlam after beating Cena. He had Orton cashed in. He won the world title. They battled a couple more times. Daniel Bryan eventually won the title back at Night of Champions. He had Triple H strip Bryan the title. Shawn Michaels Cosmos match at Hell in a Cell. Had Bryan at the end of the year feud with the Wyatt family and the Shield. They kind of got buried at the end of the year. You had Big Show get a title shot against Randy Orton. They throw in all these supporting players that didn't need to be there. They throw in the Big Show, Stephanie McMahon, the Shield, J&J Security, Seth Rollins. All those people that get the rub off of Daniel Bryan's babyface run. And by the time 2014 came around, they brought back Batista. I didn't care. The main event of WrestleMania should have been Brock Lesnar-Batista. You had Batista win the Rumble. Brock Lesnar wins the Elimination Chamber. You get the main event between Lesnar-Batista, Animal and the Beast. I forgive Randy Orton, The Undertaker, WrestleMania. The streak stays alive. And you can still have Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. Why don't I like Daniel Bryan winning the world title main event? Because he never earned it. He didn't win the Rumble. He wasn't even in it. He lost to Bray Wyatt. He failed to win the Chamber. So why was he in the main event at WrestleMania? Now, I know it'd be Triple H, but a lot of people have. And the aftermath caused a lot more damage. You had Daniel Bryan. He wins the world title, and he gets hurt a month later, vacates the title. Therefore, the yes movement was just a waste of time. They rushed the poor guy in to WrestleMania, wins the title, and has to vacate it because he got hurt. And I blame that all on WWE. They could have done better booking. If he earned his way into WrestleMania, I'd be fine. Or if he held the title all the way to SummerSlam and fought Lesnar, which was also fine. But neither of those happened. He also ruined the return of Dave Batista. He came back only to tap out Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. And then he becomes a puppet for Authority and feuds with the Shield. Then he leaves. You also had the streak being broken by Brock Lesnar. The road to SummerSlam is alright. I like the feud between Cena and Lesnar, Rollins and Ambrose, finding out who the world title, who our new world champion's going to be. Then the year turns to crap again with the Authority, then bringing in Sting, which was just useless. This year was by far one of the worst years. It was the first year where I had a lot of problems with them. So, I'm going to give the year probably a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 is okay, but a lot more problems than I would if I gave a year a 7 out of 10. They would have made Sting's return matter. Have the Authority not much on screen, have Bryan earn his way into main event of WrestleMania, or have him hold the title at SummerSlam. This year probably would have gotten a 7. maybe an 8. This is a 6 out of 10, just a terrible year. 13 was better, and WWE had many more years after this, which were also pretty terrible. 15 was alright, but 16, we'll get to 16. That's the worst year so far. Also, 18. But 14 is what started my problems with them. My hatred began around this time. As far as my stance on the product, it was okay. I didn't love it. My love was out the window. But, it was alright. It had some big moments this year. Some good moments, but a lot of disappointment. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's an okay year, just with a lot of issues.